entire screen. I think it's a little it's easier that way for me.
Okay. Now, so sure. Yeah. Now we can see your screen. So can
Okay.
you just switch back? Yeah. Perfect. Perfect.
So yes, in the immortal words of Honey Singh, I will try and give you my introduction. At work, I am a strategist. I've been in social media marketing for about 9.5 years now, inching towards 10. Basically, I'm old. I have a postgraduate diploma in marketing from Durham University in the UK. I have worked in startups before. I have worked in agencies. I have worked in startup agencies as well. I have strategized up until now close to 300 small and big campaign ideas of different shapes and sizes. Along the way, I have won some awards. I have won, when I say I have won some awards, I'm saying the awards have been won by the campaigns and not by me per se. And I have about 873 gray hairs on me. So in life, I'm a Bollywood buff. I'm a cheerleader of cringe content. I love pop culture, and I'm an avid enthusiast of pop culture. I am a pet parent as well, and I am not an influencer. Uh, so I just want to set the expectations straight. This session is going to be an expression of me. It has everything that has been a learning from my career. I've only sliced and diced the section which sort of pertains to influencer marketing only. So that's that. I hope this session is entertaining. I hope this is insightful to you guys, and I hope it is worth remembering. I will try my best to leave cues along the way, which will sort of act as stuff that help you switch on the light in your head. I hope this is easy to comprehend. I have tried my level best to make sure that it isn't laced with jargon. It isn't boring, and it doesn't sound like a lecture. So as we say, let's start getting into the thick of things. Let's try and ascertain what we are trying to achieve here. We're trying to think of what influencer marketing is. We're trying to think how why is it important. We're trying to sort of we're trying to try and find out the psychological cues as to why influencer marketing works in the real world. And somewhere along the way, we will also look at a few case studies. I'll also share a framework that I have worked on for you guys. Based on this framework, what we will do is we will deconstruct one of the campaigns that we will be speaking of today, and that will be the end of it all. But before we begin, let us try and first understand what is this thing, or the nature of this beast called influencer marketing. If I have to dive into the definitions aspect of it, it is literally marketing your product to, or your product or your service to an influencer, and making them realize that they are the right people to talk about your brand, because some of their likes and dislikes are aligned towards yours. It is in a way of marketing, a way of manipulating, in terms of if you would like to speak in terms of a marketer's language. It is manipulation. It is which can be done at scale. It can be done in terms of quantity and even in terms of quality. It is if we look at marketing, or if we look at the world of advertising. Advertising was meant for the slightly bigger screens. Advertising was meant for everything to be grand and all of that. But today the screen sizes have shrunk. Similarly, the people's expectation from content and from so-called brand ambassadors have also changed. I wouldn't say shrunk, and that has actually brought in this thing called influencer marketing. I am pretty sure everyone is aware of what influencer marketing essentially is, or at least has some sort of an idea of what it could be, because the name is quite self-explanatory like that. But some of the hard truths, it's an industry in itself. It's a $10 billion industry. It is an industry that actually sways decision making. It impacts buyer behavior. Some of you might understand some of these words because you have some sort of a marketing background. Buyer behavior is nothing but things that you do that would push the buyer or push a consumer towards taking an action which would be convenient for your brand. The third bit is it also plays an important part in terms of acquisition, or it's an important customer acquisition channel as well. It has seen, and there are a few numbers on the screen to sort of validate all of the arguments. Uh, uh, let's see what the Gen Z sees it as, right? Influencer. So again, Gen Z are people who are young. Gen Z are people who are you guys right now. There is a definition which you can Google and all of that. But essentially, digital consumers who have access, who have grown up with a mobile phone are basically are your Gen Z audiences. I like I said, I don't want to burden you with jargons. You guys already have an MBA. You guys already have your courses and your coursework to do that. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to sort of simplify everything for you guys. 71% of teens typically consume on entertainment from online streaming. They 33% teens have actually voted YouTubers as the most as the driver that is most likely to make them buy a product. And 40% of teens actually say that YouTuber sort of understands them better than their real life friends. I know it might sound a little sad, but what we're trying to say here, it makes them connect so much that they try and give the mental space of a friend to a YouTuber. The impact of influencers can be seen in multiple levels, right? One is in terms of recommendations. If you want your brand to be a recommended product, you employ this demon called influencer marketing. If you want to increase the average time spent on your app, or if you want to increase the average the open rates of your app, you employ or you work with influencers who would sort of bring in that sort of thing, because they themselves have a very palpable audience which actually interacts with them with every piece of content for about 2 minutes and 8 seconds. So some of it can be translated to a brand as well. Also, they are the gatekeepers of cool. They are the gatekeepers of culture. They are the gatekeepers of pop culture, as we say. They are the ones who are not only shaping pop culture, but they are also creating it. How many of us have shared the Pauri Hori hai on our how many of us how many of us consume memes as marketing speak? All of this originates from most of it originates from something known as influencer marketing. Now let's try and find out, why do people follow influencers? If there are many reasons, right? It could range from how I look at the content. and it could range from how the content that I view makes me feel. 64% influencers actually say that their audience respects that they provide value about the topics that they're interested in. And along the way, if you look at it from an influencer's point of view as well, what happens is they get they sort of they try and I mean they get to be known as the gatekeepers of cult for that particular for that particular domain. What 59% influencers also say is that their audience enjoys how they can interact with them, because gone are the people want the whole touch and feel. People want the interaction happening online, and when I say touch and feel, it is about interactions online. They want to enjoy the idea that they don't. It's not just one way communication that they are being fed. It's also the fact that they can interact with these people. They can talk to these people. They can tell them how they feel. They can abuse them. They can. Although not that it is something that that needs to be encouraged, but that's also a form of feedback. There is a lot of feedback that is coming in, and there is a lot of feedback that is going out, which sometimes also helps the influencer to know whether they are stepping out of the zone that they have created for themselves or not. Now that was the whole. That was the. I mean, up until now, it was everything about the statistical and the business aspect of influencer marketing. Let's see what psychological proofs can be what psychological proofs can be derived from this. As we know, online influencers and have been given this space between celebrities and friends. They are your they are people who oscillate between mass cultural performances that used to be the domain of celebrities, and they are also that much more accessible. Like you can talk to a Jose Covaco on an Instagram today without having a blue tick next to your name. You could not have that sort of an interaction with a brand ambassador of a brand that that classically believed in doing a lot of TV ads. So staying true to the spirit of pop culture in which this deck has been made, they are if there was a Venn diagram between celebrities and friends, the intersection is what an influencer would stay at, which is your Tera Chumma Do. Now let's see what a psychological journey of what the psychological journey of decision making happens. So let's say I'm an influencer. My name is Farhan. I started creating content. Based on the content that I have created, humans are seeing it, humans are remembering it. Because humans are seeing it and humans are remembering it, and because all of these platforms allow me to have to receive feedback and to have some sort of a interaction, humans are engaging with me. And when humans are engaging with me because of my content, numbers have started to show. Because numbers have started to show, I have started gaining a lot of interaction in terms of my community, as well as in terms of my profile numbers as well, right? When I reach a critical mass, which is typically determined by a brand decides that, oh, I like Farhan. Maybe I want to talk to Farhan. Maybe Farhan wants to talk to his followers about my brand, and that's how I get Farhan to make some sort of content which is around brand advocacy. Now, if you know who I'm talking about, it feels like I'm talking about Farhan Akhtar here. So staying true to the rock on side of things, this is where Farhan tries to now becoming a sellout. In the classical sense, it doesn't say that this particular person is a sellout or whatever, or influencer is a sellout. It is just It is just a tactic used to help you understand what the psychological journey of an influencer marketer of an influencer marketer and influencer marketing is. When Farhan starts to make content with brands, people like it, and people are like, oh, I did not understand that was possible. Now I want more of that, which means people show that feedback. People show that feedback in terms of in terms of their interaction with in terms of interaction with those branded content, with those branded posts. And that's how Farhan now starts making money from influencer marketing. And rinse and repeat of this, and then that's how the whole aspect of influencer marketing takes shape. But why does influencer marketing work so well in this in the world of today? Uh, so classically, cool or selling cool is a very top down process, right? It's a very, so you find that अरे मेरा बड़ा भाई यार बहुत अच्छा परफ्यूम यूज करता है, मुझे भी ये यूज करना है. So in your head, your elder brother or your elder sister is has attained a place where you're like, okay, if I want to, I could follow that person. Similarly, if I replace my elder brother or elder sister with someone bigger, and I'm like, okay, I mean, if I try and work on myself, I also can become this person. It feels achievable. Influencer marketing feels achievable. Hence, you start viewing an influencer as an extension of yourself. And just imagine the kind of advocacy and the kind of and the kind of belief that you're having in this person right now, right? It feels real. It works. Influencer marketing works because it feels real. ये बोल रहा है तो ये सही होगा यार. And that's exactly why I mean, this person doesn't have to convince you at a psychological level, at an emotional level, at a tactical level. No, that all the levels have vanished. It is not like advertising for a Colgate or for a or for a Pepsodent, wherein you get a doctor, you get a doctor-like person wearing a lab coat saying 5 बार brush करो, 2 बार दिन में कम से कम 2 बार तो इससे ही brush करो, and all of that. You don't have those barriers that have to talk to people. You just have to be yourself, and there's just that reality that is really palpable and hence selling. Which is why what happens is any conversation or all conversations with this particular person start feeling intimate. Although it is a one to many sort of a conversation, it still feels like this person is talking to you. Imagine how many times you've looked at an influencer post and gone like, oh, ये तो मेरे बारे में बोल रहा है. Which is what I'm saying. All of influencer marketing feels very real. All of influencer marketing, because it feels real, because it feels achievable, it is more and more believable. It is the point. It is at a point when, oh, Farhan at some point started talking about a brand, and I'm taking Farhan's name because that's the name I've used earlier. And then you've been on a journey with Farhan from the time when he used to create that content, and then he started getting bigger. So you feel that you've been a part of his journey, not just as a person, but as the creator or as the brand Farhan himself. And then at that point of time, you're like, अरे यार ये तो अपना फरहान है, ये हमसे क्यों झूठ बोलेगा, right? And put a brand into the picture now, and just imagine how much trust you have in the brand because you trust Farhan so much. Now let's look at some case studies. Now we've up until this point we've established why influencer marketing works from a rational sense. We've established why influencer marketing works from an emotional or psychological sense. Now let's take a look at a few case studies and try and find something that could be of value, and then we'll arrive at the framework and all of that. And and as we say, I mean, I always like to start at the back. It is amazing. It is amazing to know what knowing what you shouldn't be doing is just so, it's just so good, because that forces you to be like, oh yaar, kam se kam ye nahi karna, right? These are a couple of examples which I found out on the internet, which wherein it's not influencer marketing is not just about a function of money. It's not about, okay, I have so much money, I have a stack of so much money, and I want this person, this person, this person, this person, I want these four or five people to talk about me, and I will give them a I will give them a some sort of a toolkit which says, okay, if you want to talk about me, these are the 5 things you can mention because these are my brand USPs. These are the 2 things that you can mention because this is what this particular campaign is about, and these are the 20 things that you can avoid. Because that's a slightly difficult zone for my brand to be in. But suddenly it just feels like and all of these toolkits or whatever, all of these things are just guiding light, right? It cannot be, you cannot put words into other people's mouths. That is when influencer marketing starts looking inauthentic, and inauthentication and being non-authentic is the opposite of real, is the opposite of believable, and it is the opposite of achievable. No one wants to be inauthentic in life. No one wants to be no one wants to believe in someone who's not authentic. You have your own friends. If you and whenever you discuss about this one person that you don't like, they're like, अरे यार वो real नहीं है यार, वो and that's the yardstick of your judgment to people, and that's the same yardstick of your judgment to brands, because at the end of the day, brands are people. So like I said, you can't put you need to stop putting words into people's mouth. There can be guidelines that you can set, but other than that, it just starts getting a very, very ugly. And now, when talking about ugly, I'm not sure whether any of you have actually had the opportunity of. I mean, I'm guessing everyone must be knowing about the elections and how how manipulation of social media from an election perspective is an ugly exercise. It happens everywhere, right? Which is why I will not talk a lot about that, but that is an aspect of it that you're already aware of. I would like to talk about something known as Light My Fire. It's a documentary on Netflix. If you get the time today, or if you get the time tonight, you can just watch it. It is nothing but how influencer marketing was used to popularize a party which never actually existed, or which happened, but there were a lot of there was a lot of falsehood that was created for that party, just so that the people could they would get a lot of registrations, and a lot of people did register. A lot of very big celebrities were roped in to be their online ambassadors and digital ambassadors and all of that, and then it just turned out to be a very, very ugly affair. It's a documentary on Netflix. It's called Light My Fire. I would urge you to do that, because that documentary is a great lesson on how ugly influencer marketing can get, and how and what you should not be doing. Now that I'm sure everyone is like, okay, ठीक है, ये bad और ये ugly वाला तो बता दिया, अब मुझे good भी बताओ. But before we get into the good aspect of influencer marketing, what I would suggest is let's try and look at a strategic framework to create a good influencer marketing campaign. Some of these things are going to sound very generic right now, because I'm saying, oh, create a campaign strategy, create the right influencer mix, and measure. These are the 3 important aspects of influencer marketing. Everybody knows that. How do you do it? That's the important bit. So today I'm going to just so the strategic framework is something, if you give yourself maybe 2 months or 3 months time, if you start analyzing different influencer campaigns, if you start looking at it, you will be this framework anyone can come up with, you could come up with yourself. Just having spent maybe 3 to 4 months in just looking at campaigns and trying to find some sort of a link in that, some sort of a pattern in that. But what is important is to understand how to create this particular how to strategize. Strategy is the most important thing. Strategy is not idea. Strategy is how you think about a particular issue, how you arrive at a particular insight in our world, and then how that insight then turns into a communication plank which takes the shape of a campaign. And then influencer marketing can just be one of the can and this stays true not only for influencer marketing but for most of the campaigns that you would create now or later on in your life. First and foremost, find what the business issue is. There is an inherent need to have more people like you on Facebook. There is an inherent need for brands to have more people in your community. I want my fan growth to be 20 times more than the last year. All of those are not business issues. They are outcomes of a business issue that can be solved. So the idea is to look at any brief with cynicism swad anusar, wherein you're like, okay, I understand what the outcomes are required. I want to know what business problem do you have that you would want me to address. The second most important question to ask or get an answer for is, what are the audiences that you want to target? And there is no one size fits all approach. You can't talk to everyone in India without alienating audiences. It is an extremely difficult. If I have to give you an example, cricket is a religion in India. Everybody loves cricket, but the football, the people who love football, who could also love cricket, but some of them don't. So there is not a one size, and that is true for anything, any campaign strategy, so as to say. You need to know who your audience is, you need to know what your audience is doing, and you need to know where they are, what they are, why are they there, and you need to find out those key moments wherein you can target and talk to them. You need to work on a campaign insight. Now, when I say a campaign insight, it is always the in between part of it. Whatever is not in the brief, whatever is as a result of you reading the brief, is your campaign insight. If and I will we'll get back to this deconstruction when we look at a campaign later. In the next 5 minutes, and that is when all of these pointers will start getting clearer, I hopefully, and we'll come back to these pointers there. You need to pinpoint what the problem the campaign is going to solve. There is a brand problem and there is a campaign problem. The brand problem could be people hate me, and the campaign problem could be I need to talk to people in certain areas or in certain mindsets, wherein they can then start talking to me or liking me as a business. That's how I solve it's a slight detour from solving the actual objective. That is where your creativity typically takes the shape of the communication, and then it also sort of takes the shape of the different iterations of the same communication plank, and wherein you do a testing as to which communication 1, 2, 3, 4, which of these work for what kind of audiences, and based on that you arrive at one generic plank which in some way takes care of the essence of the campaign. You need to also ponder over some brand truths. There are there are a few there. I mean, brand truths are the ultimate test of authenticity. If you know that if Harley Davidson started talking about about health, they could, but is that something that you would expect them to? It's a slightly bitter, it's a slightly difficult pill to swallow. The next stage in creating a good campaign strategy is to write a one line strategy. In our world, we call it the get to buy statement. I'll show you one when I'll show you one which will help you actually understand what we're trying to say. And based on all of this, you craft a key message, you create your idea. It is typically there are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, there are 5 to 6 steps that you have to actually go through to come to an idea. The strategy can't start at the idea. Yes, you can have a great idea and reverse engineer your strategy and all of that, but and in some cases it might work, but it will not make you a good strategist, it will not make you a good influencer marketer, if so as to speak. But then again, it's an approach thing. You There are some people who like to build block by block and create a tower. Also, there are nowadays you can you can reverse engineer stuff as well. But then again, from a from crafting a campaign standpoint, it becomes important for you to sort of go through the rigmarole of creating each and every box of that particular campaign, or each and every element of that particular campaign. Now, the second important thing is to find the right influencer mix. We typically tend to use something that people in our people call the ICE model. The ICE is nothing but an influencer, creator, and endorser. When we say an influencer is typically a person who people aspire to be, who followers aspire to be, and they want to emulate them. A creator is a person who people like to consume, and an endorser is a person who is any person who people would want to listen to. An influencer can be a creator, an influencer can be an endorser, and an endorser can be a creator, and an endorser can be a creator, can be either. It is not mutually exclusive. But to sort of give you an example of one of each. For example, a dance influencer like Team Nach can be considered as an influencer and a creator. A creator like Jose, who you love to consume, but that is not something that you could do, or any of the other stand-up comedians that you would follow, or any of the or any of the people like or influencers like Yashraj Mukhate, who also become who are creators first and then influencers later. It is their creator spiel that has brought them the audiences that they now own and control. Then it is the endorser. The endorser can be anybody. It can be you, me. It can be anyone. If I tell you I love using I love using Sakura pens for all my presentation, for all the presentations that I draw before I make. I could become an influencer or an endorser for this particular pen brand. So and there is no threshold for being for actually having some sort of a digital presence to become an endorser. The last and the most important and honestly the most ignored bit is the measurement aspect. Okay, हमने कैंपेन तो कर लिया, हमने कैंपेन अच्छे से कर लिया, हमको कम्युनिकेशन से मजा आया, we got a lot of interaction also, but if we don't know how things moved after that, it just doesn't make sense from a learning point of view. This is a list of things that can be measured. It is not an exhaustive list. It is something that you can have as a as a checklist, but the more comprehensive this list is, or the more comprehensive that you make this list, it becomes your campaign becomes that much uh, more effective, or that much more, and this is literally how, measurement is literally how you can win those awards, because when you present it to a jury, they need to know what moved because of your campaign. Now, 100 बात की एक बात, let's try and address the most important part of this discussion, which was the framework. Let's try and jam over a strategic deconstruction for a brand. Okay, let's for the sake of this discussion, I've picked CrickBuzz. Everybody knows what CrickBuzz is, I'm sure. It For the uninitiated, CrickBuzz is a cricket news app and a website that you can say that it eats, sleeps, drinks, breathes cricket. During the lockdown, what happened was a majority of their app traffic and website audiences dwindled, because CrickBuzz is such a seasonal app in that sense. So a seasonal app is something that becomes important only when a condition is met. For example, CrickBuzz becomes important when there is cricketing action happening. Make My Trip becomes important for you when you want to travel. Swiggy becomes important for you when you feel like eating from out, when you feel like ordering. I mean, and the number of times, or the number of usages, they will obviously depend on how much. It will depend on the frequency of that particular event happening in your life or in your day, right? Uh, so coming back to the CrickBuzz discussion, what happened was, so there was a lockdown announced, and there was supposed to be cricketing action at that point of time, all of which was cancelled because of Corona. Now what happened was, because so if people have an inherent need to be entertained, right? People, I'm sure, people today, even online, if you ask them what was the last ad they liked, in all probability it will be something that must have entertained them, or that must have elicited some sort of a very strong response. Cringe is also entertainment, or the response to cringe, whether it's good or bad, is also as a result of entertainment, right? What is happening is, and I'm taking a leap here by saying India's entertainment quotient had gone way down, but it doesn't have to. People stuff like Dalgona Coffee, online Ludo, reality TV, which is again cringe content, to some, lovely to others. TikTok, at the time, TikTok was still not banned yet. All of this was sort of trending, right? And then through and from a CrickBuzz side of things, people were, from a monthly and daily active user standpoint, they were losing out on a lot of traffic. And then suddenly there was this ray of hope, which said IPL 2020 is gonna come, and it is gonna happen in Dubai. This is the starting point of the campaign and the background for the campaign. Now let's look at the strategic framework and try and apply this here. So a very clear-cut business issue. People forgot about CrickBuzz, which means we had to remind them and we had to make them come back. In terms of audiences, the kind of audiences that CrickBuzz can talk about, or the kind of audiences that CrickBuzz can talk to are of four types largely. One is a good to know person, who doesn't really watch cricket, but maybe follows it or likes to be updated. The other is a brand follower or a cricket follower. This person likes to watch cricket, likes to watch the IPL, but that's about it. He or she will not engage further until and unless you give them an important you give them a hook to sort of latch onto. The third is a hardcore fan who will go to the extent of not only watching cricket, but also watching extra innings for that matter. And the fourth and the final one is the fanatic. The fanatic is the guy who would or is a person who would go to the extent of actually decorating his house, actually listening to listening to cricket commentary on the phone, on the app while watching cricket, basically giving himself a 5D cricket sort of experience. Now the insight that we latched onto in this case, and this is a campaign that we did at What Consult. The insight that came out of it, or that was actually shining through it all, is all throughout the pandemic. The one thing that was missing was entertainment, and the entertainment quotient. Now you can say that, I mean, people got a lot of time, and they were consuming a lot of Netflix. But there is something very real called Netflix fatigue. There is because it is and too much binging also causes a lot of fatigue, and then you just want to sort of watch something or consume something just so that you can break that monotony. We wanted IPL to be that entertainment, and IPL as a format of cricket itself is very entertaining, right? It is not 5 days of cricket like your test match. It is not an 8 hour showdown like your one day internationals. It is just 3 hours of cricket. It competes with watching a Rohit Shetty movie, for example, right? And it also has the importance of stars and sports and all of that. Hence, it merits a lot of entertainment consuming audiences. So we're clearly talking to people who want to consume a lot of entertainment. These are the people who want this entertainment, and we want IPL to become that particular the definition of entertainment at this point of time. Just a second. So, what is the pinpointed problem to be solved in this case? You want to create an entertainment platform for CrickBuzz. Now, when I say entertainment platform, do you think we should create a website, a microsite which houses a lot of other CrickBuzz content? That would be slightly counterproductive, because at that point of time, CrickBuzz is solving the need of providing you scores at that point of time. It is not competing with the act of playing cricket itself, right? Or the act of watching cricket itself, right? So we wanted to create an entertainment platform. We wanted to create a campaign that would become an entertainment platform. So just to think about the brand truths. Now, CrickBuzz is the authority on cricket, and if CrickBuzz says something must be true. Let's see what that something is. What we wanted to do was, we wanted to get the pandemic-stricken, the entertainment-starved pandemic survivors to celebrate and join into the cricketing action orchestrated by CrickBuzz by using entertainment as the hook to excite, encourage, and engage them. Now, this is a lot of words. Basically, what we're trying to say is, we wanted cricket lovers to sort of experience entertainment in another format on the social platforms of CrickBuzz. Hence, we said, Ab cricket buzzega. Why Ab cricket buzzega? Because at that point of time, cricket was what was making waves, or cricket was what we wanted to make waves. Also, cricket and buzzega is like crick and buzz in it. So there is a lot of perception building happening also. Now the idea for the influencer marketing piece in this case was to get cricket lovers and leading content creators of India to dust off lockdown ka rus and start breaking a leg. We created a rap anthem called "Ab Cricket Bazega." If you can just look for those keywords and on YouTube, and you'll be able to find out. It was a rap anthem that went on to become the unofficial anthem of IPL 2020. And like we said, talk to influencers that will make it seem organic. What we did was we created a rap anthem. We created a hook step. We spoke to a creator called Dhanashri Verma. She has about 4 million followers on Instagram. We created a hook step with her, and we started a hook step challenge, which was initiated by her. And then obviously we employed a lot of muscle to make sure that once Dhanashri put out the dancing video, there were other influencers who joined in, and we just wanted to wait and watch what happened, right? And this is what happened. This is about measurement here. What we're trying to say is when that hook step went viral, we got about 450 odd user generated videos. We got about 18 million views on reels, and most importantly, what we did was we became CrickBuzz became one of India's first sports brand to actually create an Instagram Reels challenge and have so many and have India's top influencers in their own domain to sort of validate that the whole piece. In terms of number of engagements on the platform, we got about 2 million of them. We got 36 million in terms of reach on Instagram, which are crazy numbers, right? And if any of you look at making a career in performance in the performance marketing side of business, this is the number to beat, guys. We got the cost per view on the videos was 10 paisa. Sorry, the cost per view was 10 paisa. Now we could say that, okay, it's all about entertainment, it's all about cricket, it's all about all those things. Obviously it is going to sell, right? Yes, it is going to sell, but the most important metric which we tracked and which I have not included in this exercise was the numbers on CrickBuzz. The numbers on CrickBuzz were phenomenal. CrickBuzz got in the first 10 days of the Reels campaign release, there were 84 million people who actually flocked back onto the app because of the entertainment quotient that got raised on social. So that's the power of influencer marketing. Now, I hope you've been able to understand the entire flow of the strategic framework that has been outlined. I hope the deconstruction helped you understand the strategic flow a little better. But what is most important is when you practice, and I'm calling it the assignment, but you don't have to submit anything. I just want you to do a thinking exercise. This is a video called Voice of Hunger. It's done by a brand called Swiggy. What I would like you to do is, I'll play the case study right now. Watch the case study. It's very easily available. You type Voice of Hunger on YouTube, you will get this case study. It is a case study by a company called Dentsu Web Chutney. I would like each of you to watch this particular case study. Revisit the framework that we were talking about, the campaign strategy framework, and try to find what was the business issue. Try to find what are the audiences they were trying to talk to. Try to find what the insight was. If you watch the case study, the insight and all of that would be very apparent, but I would like you to sort of give it a shot. Try to find out what the pinpointed problem was that the brand wanted to solve. Try to find what was the brand truth. Try to find a get to buy statement. This will not be available on the case study, but I would like you to sort of do that exercise and see if it helps you in a way in terms of thinking. So I will just play this case study once, and or Yeah, I'll just play this case study once, and I hope.
Instagram have come out with the best feature audio messages.
Right, so the big daddy of internet challenges is here.
Which called Swiggy's Voice of Hunger challenge.
A voice of hunger. If you can get your waveform on Instagram DM to look like a food item,
This kind of looks like a nacho, right?
1 kebab, 2 kebab, 3 kebab, 4 kebab.
आपको उनको DM करना है अगर उनको पसंद आ गया.
To win a year's worth of food vouchers from Swiggy.
Free food is better. Very good. अरे यार आप लोगों ने देखा क्या hashtag Swiggy Voice of Hunger challenge? ताबड़तोड़ है यार.
There were multiple entries. There were entries on pressure cookers, on whistles, on cats, and so on.
According to the brand, they have been receiving an average of over 50 DMs per minute.
So Swiggy evidently hit 10,000 entries on day one, and I think that soon became 20,000, 30,000, and 150,000. Wow.
Quite cool, right? So if you try and take a step back, this is an influencer marketing campaign that was taken to another level. There were PR stories done. There was the actual influencer marketing that was done. There was a radio. There was use of radio as a tool to make this challenge popular. So influencer marketing cannot. I mean, what I'm trying to say here is influencer marketing doesn't have to work in isolation. Influencer marketing doesn't have to just be one part of an entire marketing campaign. It can be your main marketing campaign, and there can be other working legs that you can use for other working legs that rest on different ATL and other BTL mediums as well. So I think with that, that's all I have for you guys right now. And I hope you guys had fun, and I hope it was just as entertaining and it was as it was for me. So thank you.
Absolutely, Gaurav. Thanks a lot for putting this together. This is extremely creative and extremely enjoyable. The presentation all through, shown really well. Thanks a lot for doing this. I hope everyone who was watching this enjoyed it as much, and please give us your feedback. We're going to we have obviously recorded the session, and we're going to put it up on our YouTube, and we'll send it across as a link to you guys, so that you can go through it again, make more notes. We'll also share the slide deck that Gaurav had put up here. And feel free to share it across with your friends and your colleagues and so on. Gaurav, amazing presentation. Thanks a lot for taking out the time to bring this together today.
Thank you for thank you for actually giving me the opportunity to do so, man. It was lovely to be a part of this. and I'm always very happy to hear feedback if you guys have any. And if you guys have any questions, you can look me up on LinkedIn. You can just send me a DM, and I should be able to help you out. And in terms of readings and all of that.
Gaurav is also a mentor on Menzi. So we're launching the Menzi app tomorrow, and you can simply sign up on Menzi and reach out directly to Gaurav one-to-one. Get your questions answered on Menzi as well.
Yes, and you can also talk to me on Menzi when as soon as the app launches. I'll be very happy to sort of take it from there. All right.
Awesome.
Best. If you guys have any questions, maybe Gaurav, I think we can do one or two questions. If you guys have any questions, you can just drop it.
Sure.
But in case you need some time to internalize all of whatever I've said and all of that, you can. I'll be sending out the presentation and everything to you guys, and you can also get in touch with me on the Menzi app. So anything goes.
Cool. Thank you so much, Gaurav. Thank you, everyone from the audience. Really nice having you all here. Please do download Menzi.
All right. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.